Hi, it's Michael
And Ethan.
from Fix and Post Productions, and today we're going to be doing a film criticism of our first ever short film called Woods. We made this in, I believe, maybe November 2020?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So November 2020, we were freshmen in high school, which is kind of scary to think.
Mm-hmm.
That it was only 2 years ago. And this is it. This is the opening scene for the film. No title card or anything like that. Just immediately into it. So we're going to play it out, and we'll play through a scene, pause, and then talk about what we thought was stupid, what we thought was good about each scene, and then we'll go on to the next one until it's done.
Yep.
All right, let's go.
Oh, what a beautiful day, boys. Well, my pants broke and, I had no other thing, so I had to wear shorts. Ethan, get off that game. Get off. Come on. Because, dude, we're trying to enjoy nature.
Okay, so right off the bat, I don't think I have much of an issue with that. We had a nice establishing shot as the opening. First, we just really showed the setting and then let the characters filter in. I kind of like how that thing opened.
Yeah, I agree with that. I definitely like how the opening was just, you can see the characters, you can understand where it's at. The dialogue is kind of stupid, especially the "I broke my pants."
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever broken pants. I don't know how you do that.
Not yet.
But that was basically ad-lib, and when you have a ton of freshmen in high school,
That's what
ad-libbing, you're going to get stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Overall, that scene was fine. Decent establishing shot. The river, kind of going through, whatever you want to call it, it's nice. So,
Yellow Creek.
Yeah, Mill Creek.
Yellow Creek.
Yellow Creek?
That's what that one's
Yellow
called.
Creek, alright.
I love that river.
Okay, so let's go on to the next scene.
Balance, dude. Not my problem.
I think it seems pretty easy to go across.
Well, Ethan, you're tinier, dude.
Okay.
And you good, bro? Yeah. This hill's really steep. Oh. Luckily, these stumps are here.
Yeah, I got a lot
They
of
help us get up. Yep. Here, take my hand, mate. And get off of that boat.
Okay, so that second shot, I also think it was fine. I felt like the going up the kind of hill thing was kind of cool, and walking on the tree. So I thought
More
that was interesting.
exposition.
Yeah. Two still shots right now, tripod and still. I remember doing them, but I mean, for exposition, really not too bad. It's not getting too deep. The whole phone thing, is really kind of getting more driven in with basically every line.
I
Although
liked that.
you weren't on your phone when you're climbing, so saying get off your phone didn't really make sense.
Yeah.
But once again, ad lib, and I mean he couldn't see behind him, to be fair, so
Yeah.
you could probably play that off as just, the character doesn't know.
We'll
They're
go
not-
with it.
Yeah.
It's good. It was a still good addition for exposition, just setting the scene still.
Yeah. All right, let's go on to the next scene.
How you guys doing out here? Great. Still a little tired. It's just so long out here. Yeah. Come on. Ethan, you're on your phone again? Come on, man.
Come on, I'm being imposter this time.
What's the imposter again?
Yeah, what is that?
I'm so confused when you tried to teach me that game.
Yeah. I'm getting kind of tired. Want to rest here for a bit?
Sure.
Anything for you. Your phone's almost dead too. Vince, can you hand me a charger?
Sure. But you need to stop playing Among Us. It's gonna waste your battery.
Okay.
How do you even get reception out here? We're in the middle of nowhere.
Well, my house isn't too far away. It's a couple reaches out, but we're about to lose some reception. Luckily, I have a compass on my phone.
True, but it is nice in case you need to call for help. We'll have something to do it with.
So, it was a little difficult to hear the dialogue on that one. A lot much more noise than there should have been.
So that was an internal camera microphone. We didn't
Yeah.
have anything mounted, I don't think. Yeah, I think there was some loud kind of noise behind it. Almost looked like or sounded like rather it was like a leaf blower or something like that.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, if I was doing this now, I would have probably just done a high pass and then taken it out in After or Premiere, or done like a denoise or dehummer kind of thing, just try to get that out. But
The audio is
yeah.
what I definitely would have the most complaints with that on that one.
yeah, audio wasn't great. Still stationary, and at that point,
Maybe you could.
It
Switch
did not
up a
look
little.
fantastic. Yeah, you definitely could have moved it around a bit more. Cut maybe person to person. Just trying to improve it. All right, so not too bad. Let's go on to the next one.
Nothing so far out enough.
Well, should we head back south? South? Didn't we come from the east? Shouldn't we be going west?
What do you think?
Well, I think we should go north. Or I'm pretty sure it's north.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's north.
But west, run.
Oh no, wow. I don't know what to say about that.
There's not much of an excuse.
I think we were both cringing the entire time we just watched that. Let's go back and watch it again, just so we can have this saved on the internet forever. Our reactions to this. We'll skim through back. So,
Oh my gosh.
firstly, opening, it's not bad. They're walking on.
Yeah. But I feel like at that
Yeah.
point we should have had them in the shot.
Probably should have been a bit later. Yeah, and like
Yeah.
Nothing so
That's
far
fine.
out enough.
I should have started moving the tripod right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Start tracking.
Well, should we head back south?
This
And
just
then it
looks
cuts
so
them out.
stupid.
And
Yeah.
then it
East?
slowly
Should we be going
pans over.
west?
It looks so stupid. Dialogue is not great. You really couldn't hear much of it.
Yeah.
So there's that. I think audio. We already covered or talked about audio. Audio is
Yeah.
not great.
What do you think?
There's a bit of clipping. It seems like from
Yeah.
DLC.
Well,
That's not
I think we
natural.
should go north. Or I'm pretty sure it's north.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's
You're
north.
talking about where to go.
West, run.
Okay,
So I guess-
what was the delivery of that line
Yeah.
too? I'm just like, it's just this crack happens. We think it's a freaking bear, and I'm just like, West, run.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's so like monotone.
And I guess that's the sort of thing where you don't really know it's a bear. I think we reveal it later. I don't
Mm-hmm.
care about spoiling it. This is something that if you feel bad about this being spoiled, then
You should
I don't
have
know what to
watched it
say.
first, yeah.
It's not on YouTube.
Oh.
I'll make it unlisted though. So if you go in the video description, you can just see a link for the actual video, and it will just be the raw file with the name spread out and the credits because, yeah, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I don't ask the other people if I can criticize this again. They're fine with it being turned in as a project and uploaded online. They're all fine with that, but that was 2 years ago, so I'm fine with just kind of blurring it out, and I think Ethan would be fine with it too. Anyways, they're running, which is fine. If I was doing this now, honestly, I think I would have left it where I had it with the tree, this tree specifically right there,
Yeah.
because
It's a good entry or cut point.
yeah, a good cut point lets them get out of the scene without it looking super jank. But I decided to track them, and now we can just see they're running into the abyss, and wherever I cut, it's just gonna look like it just disappeared. But it's not too bad. Also, the focus never changed. They're out of focus, and we're just
Yeah.
looking at a tree now.
Yeah, and a lot of the cuts too were made. Definitely, we put the scenes in way too early on. Once we really like at the beginning where it's just the blank setting, then they introduce the characters
That's
walking in.
fine.
That's perfect. But
Yeah.
after that, the characters should remain on the screen.
Yeah, the entire time.
Not off the screen.
Yep. All right, let's go on to the next scene here, and you can witness absolute pain.
Go! Go! Get going! Come on!
Okay, so that scene, I mean, it wasn't too bad. It's just you're running.
Hitting the tree though, I believe if I remember correctly, it was supposed to be I run into a tree, not I grab on and stop at the
Yeah.
tree. It should have. That was not.
Yeah, it didn't look great,
best.
but I mean, it's fine. The whole reasoning behind it is this scene makes sense only once you have that there. Because
But I did it
we
pretty
realized
badly.
Ethan was the one that ran first, and so it was like, oh,
Yeah.
well.
A
so-
lot of this was really
yeah.
just we're fixing it at the moment of shooting. Oh well,
Yeah.
we'll just see what happens.
To be fair, so we've shot 3 things now in the woods.
A lot more.
This being the first one, the second one being fight, the third one being the 48. Every single time we've had to change things, like right then and there, because we don't have a good idea
Yeah.
of like for pre-production. It's impossible to tell what the conditions will be like
Yeah.
unless you go out and scout it out like the day before. But that, so like for 48, we didn't have the time for that. even still, it wouldn't, like, you couldn't mark things on the ground because you wouldn't be able to find it when you come back.
Yeah, I will say though, even without being able to scout, I feel like our ability to adapt with what's happening here has gotten a lot better.
Yeah, especially with the 48. And I mean, we watched the 48th here today just out of coincidence, and like there are certainly shots where it's like, oh, I would have done this so much differently.
Yeah.
But you know, when you have 48 hours and you're living off Red Bulls, you know, there's not much you can do.
Yeah, and as our first 48, I don't think it was too bad.
No, I don't think either. Yeah, especially as high schoolers. If you didn't happen to see that, or you just are curious about the full story, we entered into a 48-hour film festival in Cleveland, Ohio, which is about an hour and a half out from where we are.
Yep.
And basically, you start on a Friday night, and they give you a genre, a character with a male and female version, and a prop that has to be used, and a line that has to be used in a short film that you have to make in 48 hours. So we got legal film and horror as our two genres. Brad Testorado as our character, or Brianna. Our line was not yet, I'll tell you when, or not yet, I will tell you when, and our prop was a necklace. And if you watch it, you'll see all of those things are in there, but filming in a forest is very difficult because lighting is going to change.
Mm-hmm.
You aren't able to influence it really directly yourself, and just overall, it's a pretty difficult location. I think next time, I think our best bet would be to use like a house or a location where it makes sense to film there for whatever genres we have, but also the conditions are controllable, especially with lighting and things like that. Because
sound, you can't really control crunching of leaves literally everywhere.
Yeah, and that's something where if you were in a controlled location, sound is so much easier to do, lighting and stuff. And if you happen to look up some of the winning city films, or even like the grand winner of the 48-hour film festival, like cinematography is very good on those films, and that's something where you have to have controlled conditions to do, or like extremely good planning if it's something like outside. Anyways, back to this. So that last scene was not super horrible with the whole running thing. It was just there. So let's watch this next clip. Okay, basically, they're running, they jump over a log, and then Ethan falls on the log. Pretty easy.
Yeah, little backstory for that scene, though. We we had to shoot that, over 10 times.
Yeah,
it was...
here, I'll open up the file manager here, and we'll just see how many were that shot. So, you have to blur out a lot of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are 5 clips of it, but a lot of these were probably, recorded... multiple times. So... guessing at least 7 or 8.
Because they weren't supposed to say anything. The other two, they were not supposed to say anything after I tripped. And a lot of the time, immediately after I trip, you just hear them yell from the back, like, go, leave him. And we're like, we got to reshoot this thing. So I had to trip 10 times at least. Yeah. And it was an experience.
Yep. Yeah, it's crazy, though, that we have the actual raw footage from something we shot 2 years ago. This is cool to be able to say it, we have all of it still. Yeah. We don't have the video editing stuff, but this isn't something hard to recreate. All right, anyways, on to the next scene, which already kind of started. Okay, they literally just kind of jumped over a little ditch.
For
it wasn't
that
necessary.
being our first film, I think it was a pretty cool shot. Just them jumping over like that. It looked a lot better than some of the other ones. Yeah,
I will say it feels a little zoomed in with where their feet come in. So,
I think...
Okay, well, I guess I didn't go back far enough. Here, I'm just going to play out to it again, but just kind of where their feet are. I don't remember what lens it was. It must have been a 35.
I think at the time also you were constricted with where we had to place the tripod in that little crevice thing, but not too bad.
We thought just the legs would be cool, but I think in the grand scheme of things, it's kind of hard to tell who's who.
Yeah.
But, it's not too bad. It would have hinted... a bit more to there only being 2 people. I mean, obviously, there are only 2 legs, but you'd be able to see, I guess, who the 2 people are.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad, though.
Honestly, I kind of because you got the shot that has me fall back.
Yeah.
And then you have the last person trip.
Yeah,
so you kind of know
2 more
it's
legs.
me, and then only seeing the 2 really kind of solidifies the idea. One of them's not there. I think it's this person that's not there.
Anyways.
So it's still not bad.
Yeah, let's go on to the next
revealed
shot.
In this next shot.
Which you'll see now.
What do you think that was?
Could have been a bear? Maybe. Let me check my phone. Ah, shoot, it's at 2%. Ethan, can you hand me the charger? Ethan?
Ethan?
Where is he?
Dude, where's Ethan?
Give me your charger. Maybe we can call him.
Okay, yeah, I'll see. Dude, it's not in here. I think I left it at home.
Okay, so what do you think about that?
So the flashback scene having him leaving the charger at home is good, but I think it's in the wrong place. I think it should have been he reached into his bag, he's shuffling around, and before he says, dude, it's not in here, I think I left it at home, it should have cut to that.
Yeah.
And we could have just cut out that other saying it entirely, because it's, again,
Yeah.
more show, not tell.
Or
is
you
what
could
we
even
want.
have the footage playing, and then you could have him saying it.
Yeah.
Kind of like a voiceover sort of
Yeah.
thing as the footage is happening. But that shot, they basically realize Ethan isn't there. They don't have the charger. Phone's about to die. That really sucks.
Yeah.
So you can already see the next shot, and it's the phone charger. So let's just play it. Okay, so that last shot, pretty basic. Focus is right here on
Rack of
the
focus was nice.
charger, and then racked onto the door. Yeah, I agree. Rack of focus is nice. I think I could have focused it a little more because it looks like this was in focus and not him necessarily. Oh, not the actor. So, maybe rack focus it a little more. That's fine. Something you might have noticed is the door sounds a little weird when it closes, and that's because we have a little thing that tells you when people show up. So it's like, oh, family's here for Thanksgiving dinner, just so we know, like, oh, the door's open, right?
It'll go like, doo-doo-doo-doo, front door.
Yeah, exactly. But it made that noise when we opened the door. We did not want it because it was super, super loud.
Yeah.
So I muted it out. I used some of the static audio in the shot from earlier, and then when he closed the door, I basically just used the sounds of the door opening and kind of reversed it and then cut them up and did some weird stuff to make it sound like it was closing.
And honestly, for a first film, that sound design was pretty impressive.
Yeah, it did not sound that bad. Let's listen to it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not horrible, but it's not amazing either. I think, honestly, what I would have done now is I think I would have just went back, and because it's my house, I would have just brought the same camera, opened the door, waited for the alarm noise to go out,
Yeah.
and then just closed the door.
Yeah.
That
But
would
it
have been
worked.
pretty easy. You could have even done that with the phone and just used that audio. Anyways, let's continue.
Ethan's the only one with a charger.
Oh, we need to find him. We need to find him
Where's
now.
your phone at now?
Huh?
Where's your phone at now?
Right here. It's at 1%.
We need to go find Ethan.
So the one thing I'm starting to notice as we go through this a lot more is there are a lot more shots that are wide, just focusing on the entire bodies of the characters. You don't see a lot of close-up shots or a lot of change in the type of shots. It's all just the same general thing. So we didn't really have much experience with variation in shots yet.
Yeah. That's something, obviously, if you look at new films and stuff like that,
There's
you
a
can
lot
tell it
more
changed.
variation.
Yeah. But dialogue is still kind of hard to hear, but it wasn't horrible.
A little better.
Something I want to point out is the color grade is really dark. Like, it's at the point where
It's too dark.
this tree literally just looks like pitch black. And
Yeah.
that's kind of not what you want. So, I didn't do the color grade on this. A different person in the class color graded it because we had to color grade, and he was like, yo, I got a cool look. And watching it now, it looks more like it's supposed to be like Batman Dark Knight rather than woods. They get lost with their friend, you know.
Yeah.
So, I certainly would have changed, I think, a fair bit in this, especially color grade. Like, I would have tried to go more for vibrancy and maybe warmer, just because it's fall and there's all the leaves on the ground and stuff like that. And then maybe slowly as you move on, you could try to have made the color grade a bit darker, just because
You want it
stuff's happening. It's scary, but
as they're getting lost, you want to you don't want to have a bright color grade, but you don't want to have it like this either. You got to find a sweet spot.
it's not horrible though. Although his
I mean,
the one actor's
kind of.
sweatshirt, it's like
Neon.
it sticks out a lot, but I mean that's all right.
Yeah.
If you're in a forest, if you're in a forest, at least it helps you kind of pick out where the actors are, especially if they're far away. That would be a good call.
Yeah,
But yeah.
yeah.
I don't have too much to add on that other scene, other than I think, like Ethan said, it was all one stationary shot, and I think we would have saved more time if we did close-ups and then had them say like 2 or 3 lines, because they had a hard time remembering what all the lines were.
Yeah, it took a while.
And then as soon as they got it, they'd be like, "Oh my god, thank God we got it! All right, let's do the next thing." And they wouldn't want to reshoot it. So if you didn't have a great performance, it was like, I guess you're not going to have great performance in that scene.
And the time it takes, you can probably start to notice later on with the change of lighting in the sky, because
it
took
bad.
quite a while.
Yeah. All right, let's go on to the next one.
Oh, he's got to be somewhere around here. Maybe he got eaten by the bear.
Probably got eaten by the bear.
Oh, we need to find Egypt for that power bank. You don't get that power bank.
Okay, bad tripod, immediately. That's what I have to say, is
the tracking
wasn't great.
as well.
Tracking wasn't great. Overall, bad pan. Also, it didn't really seem like... I stopped way too late. I should have stopped earlier and just let them go out of frame instead of letting them... or going so far that it just kind of looks like they're still walking and that disappears. You know, it wasn't great.
And it's just like, again, this entire film has just been wide shots and pans, and you want more variation in a shot with them walking side by side like that. You maybe don't want a pan like that.
Yeah.
You would really want more tracking than a pan, but only 2 shots we did. Pretty much the only 2 shots we knew at the time, so.
Yeah, and that's a big thing. I remember in class one day, I don't know if it was before or after we did this, we were messing around with different types of shots, and our teacher had a ton of shots like on the board with all the different shots and stuff like that. He didn't really understand when's a good place to use these.
Yeah.
Now, we could figure out, if we had that lesson again, it would be a lot more useful just because they'd be able to immediately understand where to apply them.
It comes with experience.
Yeah.
The more you mess around with shots, the more you see those shots used in other work, the more you understand where they're best used.
And that's something...
Experimenting, too.
That's something where, you really just need time to kind of figure out things like that. And as we've kind of been developing fix and post productions into, more of a team, we want to get a couple more people involved and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Something I think we both kind of want to have from new people is that kind of knowledge of understanding where to use specific shots and stuff like that, because it's one thing to be able to use all the equipment and one thing to know how to edit, or one thing to act, but it's another thing to know how to get it all to fit together and look nice. And that's the big thing. We have people that can do that already. Like if you look at the 48 hour that we did Yellow Zone, everyone in that group is capable of doing, I think, everything.
Yeah.
But, I think Emily and Tuan were a bit more specialized in, acting, as were you. Your role wasn't as big as that one, though.
Yeah.
Or in that one. I did a lot of camera for that. Any shot that Tuan was in, I was always in, or always running camera on. And for some of the shots that, he wasn't even in, I was still doing camera for.
Yeah.
Video editing, I did the rough cut and basically stitching it together, and then Tuan did the polish.
Yeah.
So, there's things like that where everyone had their own important thing, and even just moral support and, being cool. But that's something I would always recommend is have a crew that knows how to do everything.
Yeah.
And that's something with this crew. Me and Ethan were in class, and then everyone else there was not. And, just thinking about that, it's like, oh, so you 2 are the only ones that kind of understand what the requirements are, what it's going to have to look like when you edit it and stuff like that. And it's something where, directing a lot of events at school, say, a concert or, a football game, something like that, everyone who's running a camera understands, oh, this is going back to our TriCaster, and he has to, or she, whoever's running it that day, has to pick out the shots and stuff like that, and they understand how the system works, so they're going to make shots that fit. And if you have a crew that doesn't understand that, then it's going to be a lot more difficult to get something good.
And
anyways.
Back with the, again, a variation of the shots and us not knowing as much. Now with a lot more experience, personally, I would love to do a lot more cinematography and setting up shots, because I'm a lot more interested in trying to enact certain feelings just by the angle of the shots, because you can get a lot out of just how you angle them, the positioning and everything, how you move your shots, and I would love to mess around more with that.
Yeah, and like changing lighting as well can be a big thing. Even just how much of the actor it shows off and stuff like that,
Yeah.
or what parts of the actor it shows.
What you're keeping in focus.
Yeah, so many things like that can.
What
make
shows what's
changes.
important.
Yeah.
Really.
And even like doing like a dolly shot with a lens where like you move back and you zoom in to create that weird optical illusion of like
Oh, I love
the person
those.
stays the same, but
what's
every
Vertigo, is that what it's called? That shot?
yeah, I think it is. So like the person stays the same for the most part. They might stretch a little,
Yeah,
but then
it's in the
everything else
background.
gets super wide or super
What
shallow.
What I'm specifically thinking of right now is Guardians of the
Me
Galaxy
too.
2. The
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, when he realizes, that scene is
But, yeah,
amazing. And
I love those kind of shots. They're so sweet.
yeah, it gives you a kind of sinking feeling
Uh-huh.
when you watch them.
We should mess around with those.
We
more.
should. We don't have a dolly, but
We'll
it'd be cool to
figure it
have
out.
one.
Sometime, I mean,
We could
the
make
one
one on
time-
PVC.
Yeah, and the one time I just like was messing around, I had my brother stand against the wall, and I just like
Moved back
zoomed
and
in and
zoomed in.
moved back,
Yeah.
or I moved back and or moved in and zoomed out, and I
Yeah.
got a similar effect. It wasn't as clean, but it still worked.
And I've even heard of people using like a skateboard to do something
Yeah.
like that, where they just roll,
We can
they're behind the
construct our own
skateboard. Yeah,
dolly.
we could. I
When
think,
we have more time for
I think
productions,
BSTN has a
we can
dolly
be able
actually.
to-
It's
Ooh.
12 foot, but
Steal.
I don't know if we could use immediately just like steal it. But I'm sure we
Ours
could.
now.
I'm sure we could borrow that.
Yeah, we'll sign it out.
History of
For,
borrowing
like-
a lot of equipment.
Yeah, and not returning it for a while.
Yeah, that's pretty true. But I've always taken good care of my equipment. It comes in better
Yeah.
condition than it leaves.
The only thing that doesn't come back in better condition
Are the
tripod bags.
Yeah, because they get covered
They
in mud.
get covered
and-
in a lot of stuff.
But I mean, I could clean those. Anyways, let's get back to the thing we're supposed
Yeah.
to do, which
We
is
rambled for a while there.
Yeah, been recording for half an hour too,
Oh
which
my
is
gosh,
crazy.
that's gonna be
I hope,
fun to add up.
yeah, I hope the cut down for this isn't like 28 minutes, and we're like, oh my god, who's gonna watch this? Anyways,
There's a lot of unnecessary stuff we can probably cut out.
yeah, it's fun. All right,
Yeah.
let's go on because we're nearly done with this. There's like a minute of footage left.
Yeah.
So, all right,
We'll
let's
have
go.
our final word.
Ethan, is that you? Ethan, we've been looking for you.
Wait, bro.
thank
Oh,
God.
Ethan, thank God we found. Are you playing
You're
Among Us?
kidding me, right?
Maybe. Oh my gosh. Give us the
Give me
power
power
bank. We have low battery, and
I'm
I forgot
dead.
mine. Oh, you're dead?
Mine's dead. Well, I got reception.
Oh, of course you
Thank
did.
God. Go south.
Okay. And get off of Among Us.
Let's go. We found you.
Okay, so last shot, basically, that we're going to play at least, just because of copyright. We use Mr. Blue Sky for the end credits, which will show up here. However, I don't want to play that just because of copyright, and I'd like to keep this video monetized.
Well, you can play it and then just cut out the audio later on.
When I upload this as an unlisted video, and you can just check out the link in the description, you can watch the whole thing and listen to it if you really like the song, which I do. It's a good song. Anyways, that last scene, just watching through, it's pretty basic.
Still static.
Yeah, so starting here,
Why?
still static.
Not really centered either.
Really dark. I think the color grade actually hurt that more than
Yeah.
it didn't. I'm not too worried about it not being centered, though. Because as we saw, I'm really bad at tripod, apparently. At least 2 years ago I was. So,
Yeah.
having them move across the screen and then be there is fine. And when they actually get up to leave as well, they go more towards the middle. And I think
Yeah.
maybe not.
But a
they-
variation of
they
shots
start going
would be
toward the
nice.
middle, and it looked fine. You could say it's a like rule of thirds kind of thing, where
Yeah.
they're in the right third, in the middle third, and left third are empty, but they move across it. So it's cool.
But again, it's a really long, drug out wide shot. You could have.
Yeah, that could have
a
been
lot more
cut down,
variation
especially
in it.
because when you're here, you can only see one of their faces, and then the other two you can't, and they're all still talking.
Yeah.
And that's something where I would have cut around. Last shot, basically we just walk. If you can notice, the sky is getting darker. Everything is just getting darker. The edges of the screen are like dark. You can hardly make out details.
Color grades slowly getting worse.
Yeah, and basically what happened was the two actors that aren't Ethan showed up late.
There was
like,
a lot of problems.
By like an hour, which wasn't necessarily their fault, but it happened, and was like, okay, that's fine. However, because of that, we were really running out of daylight, and by the time we ended, it was getting dark, and I knew if I increased the ISO too much, for some reason I really, really knew this, there's going to be a ton of gain, and it would suck. So, yeah. To be fair, I probably could have brought up a little more because just looking at this, there really isn't too much graining or noise or anything like that. The color grade certainly probably didn't help though. Let me see. I'll pull up one of the old shots and we'll just check out what it looks like. I'm gonna cut this out because I don't want to show all of the all of my folders. There's probably private stuff in those folders. Who knows?
Oh, honestly. Oh, that's so much better.
So
Holy crap.
okay, yeah. So this is what the shot would look like without a color grade, and what I can say is you can see a bit more of the noise. Maybe I take back my statement, but did not have to go
All
that
the way.
extreme
Yeah.
with the color grade. That this is a completely ridiculous color grade, I would say.
Yeah.
This one just crazy.
The quality might not be the best in this shot without
Yeah.
the color grade, so you could have used the color grade to your advantage, darkened it a little bit, but
Yeah.
not that much.
I think I would add a little bit of contrast, bump
Yeah.
up the saturation a bit, and then just kind of mess with it from there and
Yeah.
see what I could do. But overall, not too bad. I guess filming it normally, I think this is passable enough. You could have made it work.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a Nikon, I think D5600 that we filmed it on, so there's that too. Or was this my camera? Was this my Canon?
Did you have?
Yeah. It might have been my Canon T3i. I don't remember. Not sure. Anyways, yeah, so that is
my
the end
gosh.
shot.
I can't go back to looking at this color grade.
Yeah. Something we'll mention, I'm going to have to blur out a bit of the credits here as I go on, but it would have made so much more sense to have the credits go over. Do you see? Look
Or
at that.
fade it in.
Look at that.
The change in color?
It was into transition now.
What the heck?
It must have been the camera auto white balancing.
Huh.
Anyways, that was weird. So the credits here, which I'm gonna have to blur, sadly. I should have just put it over the shot as they're walking out. It would have made so much more sense, really. But I don't think we knew. We did know how to do that in Final Cut
Yeah.
because we learned it the year before in 8th grade. Our middle school had a TV program where you just made the morning announcements.
It wasn't too much.
No, we screwed around with the green screen one day, so we knew how to green screen somewhat well. I don't know why I didn't just do that with this, but Okay, thank you for watching, and yeah, we'll see you next time with probably a film criticism of The Fight.
Yep.